All right, hello everyone. My name is Travis Gysegem, and I'm going to start the CUF group. We're going to be presenting development sites within the CUF neighborhood. My development site is on the border of Interstate 75 near Camp Washington, down Straight Street along Central Parkway. I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about its framework. And one of the initial challenges I noticed with my site was how apparently disconnected it was from the rest of Uptown's amenities. So that's where I wanted to start with my framework. I really wanted to focus on connections. Originally this area was very well connected. That's where the Canal Corners name comes from. It was right along the now defunct Miami and Erie Canal, which connects the Ohio River to Lake Erie via Cincinnati and Toledo. So this was an area of a lot of commerce and activity, but with the removal of the canal and the addition of the interstate, this area has become very stagnant. It's somewhat of a pass-through. So I wanted to make this area a little bit better connected. So one way to do that is focusing on transit, which is something I did a lot in this plan. And also looking at, initially in our first assignment, assignment 6 or 5, the previous one, we looked at greenways and the green spaces. So the addition of a green space at my site would tie into Uptown's existing green spaces. But let's start off looking at the transit, since that was a pretty big element of my site. So here's two diagrams. I'm going to start with the one on the right. It's a diagram I came up with that is the Greater Cincinnati Regional Light Rail Plan. This came with a little bit of inspiration from some of Metro's plans that they put forth, and some just plans that people have put on their blogs for fun. So it focuses on connecting the entire region to the job centers, specifically downtown. And this really took a step back from the rest of Uptown when I did this specific task. So I looked at how to connect the entire region's amenities together using this light rail. And I pretty much used the I-275 loop as my border for this. And you can see the star on the diagram, that's where my site is. So it's along 2 of the light rail lines, which I'll get into. And here's a site-specific transit plan, looking at kind of the final interventions, looking at the addition of the 2 light rail lines that connect to the region, the existing bus lines and the connecting bus lines, and the existing bike lanes along Central Parkway. So this could really create a really well-connected site using this framework. And probably the wildest idea of this framework is the cable car idea, which you can see connects the site to West Campus. And this site, this cable car would really connect the site to the university's regional economy, and really connect it to the amenities that are available at the university. So here's a section that kind of argues for the necessity of having a cable car like this. Straight Street, the cable car would run along Straight Street. Can you stop waving, Paige? I'm sorry, it's really distracting. The cable car would run up Straight Street, which is about a 15 to 18% incline. Which it's not an easy task for someone to have to access up the hill. So the addition of this cable car would provide a fixed transit system that people could take from the site to connect to the university. Let's do a quick overview of the site itself, since we haven't really seen it yet. So the site itself is a real mixed-use, transit-oriented development. And probably the crowning jewel of the entire site is on the western end, which is a transit hub, which I will talk about a little bit more. The southern end has some mixed-use buildings with apartments. The southernmost building is just an apartment building with a parking garage tucked underneath. But the northern end of the development is where this intentional community lies, and that's what I'm going to talk about a little bit more right now. Over here we have a diagram for this intentional community. And the purpose of this intentional community is for young adults ages 18 to 25, kind of taking inspiration from what Cindy had said about high school students graduating high school and there's really no place for them to go. So this program would be for them. It would be for both developmentally and physically disabled young adults. And the idea of this is to create and foster independence. So you can see from this diagram we have townhome style living quarters where some of these program participants can live and learn how to gain their independence. And then another living quarter attached to the program center, that's special care living quarters. So those that might need a little extra attention and a little extra assistance would be living there. The program center would be where all the action happens. There would be classes and job training programs, as well as other various things. And there's also a program and retail expo space, which this is kind of looking at the Point Perk Coffee Shop in Covington. So this is where the program participants would practice their job training. They would have a retail space that would interact with the other retail spaces within development. And this could happen on a rotating basis. One month it could be a pizza shop, maybe the next month it could be a coffee shop, and it would give the program participants really a wide background and a bunch of different skills. And then attached to that there'd be a bigger expo space where maybe some different projects can occur, maybe art projects, performance pieces, any sort of skills that they're learning at this program center can be exhibited to the community at this retail and expo space. So looking at the community as a whole, I'm going to talk about some of the main features. Like I said, that the central point is this transit center, and this transit center would really allow these program participants to gain their independence because they wouldn't have to worry about how to get around. This would be a really convergence of a couple different transit elements. You of course have the light rail, you have the cable car terminates at this transit center, you have a bus pull-off where 3 city bus lines, as well as maybe a future BRT expansion or commercial bus lines could operate out of. Okay. So yeah, the transit center is really the main focus of this. And I believe combining the transit center with this intentional community, as well as the various other elements, can really create a place where people can come together and gain their independence. And hopefully from this program in the northern end, maybe they can even move on and live independently from the program on the southern end. Thank you.